Hello, welcome back to
Hello.
Actual Play. Yeah, we're about to go into the Monastery of 100 Flowers. See what
Indeed.
happens inside. See if the ghost of Damask is haunting it, or some other angry angry force is at work. Some other malevolent forces at work.
Yeah.
So I think I can just get blue on my um, on my team because that was one of the other things I took. I had three hold. One of them was take +1/+4. Another one was add a party member to the delve, and I think I can now just have blue as my available wizard. If that sounds right to you,
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna commission blue from Flint. I'm gonna say I want blue there. I need somebody who can detect magic, and I think I should probably take a cleric, right? Someone
Cool.
who can sense divine energies as well, because who knows what's gonna. I mean, with Sorcerer Kings, there's no rules, but between us mortals, we gotta cover all the bases. So let me see if I can round me up a, a dietist to, uh, to come as well.
Cool. I'm gonna name them after a classic D&D god. I'm gonna name them Pelorum.
Nice.
And yeah, I think Pelorum is an like a middle-aged man who has come to delving a little late in life. Was probably a priest for a long time, and yeah, I think in a black habit with a uh, with a chest with chest armor, a cuirass and a small shield and a mace.
Nice. Nice. I think we're at the portal site, doing our inventory check, and
Yeah, and I think like as you you're doing you're doing the 20 items with Kasan, and like you can hear Pelorum say to Blue, like, so are you still a vampire? And Blue says, I've still got the teeth, but no, technically, medically speaking, I'm not a vampire. The sun doesn't bother me, but they say that necromancy might come a little easier to me as I go forward. So I don't know. It is what it is. And he said, that's really interesting. I'm glad you're well. She says, yeah, sometimes these things, sometimes we make the community less weird. Sometimes the delve just makes us more weird. It's just it's a trade.
yeah, blue. Rather, Micah kind of looks down at their the scar on their wrist from when Blue kind of mauled them and chuckles. Doesn't call attention to it or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, things get weird. Uh, that's a good way of putting it, Blue. Um, and I think like there's a little bit of sort of inside baseball with Blue that Micah isn't trying to like leave Pelorum out of this, but there's a little bit of like catch up of hey, and I don't really say why I'm giving Blue this information. I just sort of tell her um, about the meeting and about the refugee status. And I think she left pretty bitter. I mean, she was upset. Both of us were. So I don't know if that's ameliorating or not.
Yeah,
But
yeah. She she nods and said, or no, they. Blue is
Blue is
they.
the
Uh,
right.
uh, man, I'm even like mispronouncing my NPCs.
Oh,
That is
I did it. I got
pathetic.
yeah. You're right. Blues they don't pronounce.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
yeah.
good.
No, I'm not messing with you. I'm messing with myself. I sometimes I find, yeah. Anyway, uh, it is what it is, and I'll do better, Blue, and all of my non-binary friends. Uh, yeah, Blue says, smiles, and says, "That's really cool. That's a really cool reaction to a really shitty night."
Yeah, yeah. I'll keep you posted. I think I'm going to be going back there more. It's slow moving. They've got a lot of issues, and everything takes a lot. But I don't know. Hopefully, we don't have to live that night again.
Yeah.
All right, Kasan, what do we got?
Says, "All right, my friend, we've got your 20 items."
You want me to make? Should I make the gear roll beforehand so that we know which the items? So we
Yeah.
could, while he's described them, we can figure out
Yeah,
which
yeah,
ones
let's do
are.
the pre-delve roll in general. Yep.
Yeah, the pre-delve roll. Where is the list of all the?
The moves.
Yeah, thought we had a
Yeah.
list of all the moves. It's post-delve paperwork. XP questions. We've got the checklist, but I don't remember what I'm rolling. I think I'm rolling level.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
level.
All right. All right. Here we go. Boom! All the good stuff for me. Where's that 12 when I needed it in the hall? All right.
Yeah, so it is all there, and I will read it out loud just because it's fun. 10-foot pole, chalk, 12 iron spikes, mallet, lantern, Prozacs, 3 pencils, 80-foot rope, grapple, delve sack, the official delving union's monster manual, 3 homing bats in tube cages, little tubes, delving tape, 1 roll, 100 ball bearings, 3 days of rations, 1 day of water, 1 empty canteen, a waterproof, fireproof delving envelope, old maps and/or notes to go in, and a heavy blanket. And I think like it just so happens that you got a newly packed, you know, delve bag that just has all new shit in it. Like the only thing that looks like it has a ding on it is the crow's axe, which is actually good because that way you know it can take a ding, right?
Yeah, it's not going
Um,
to shatter the first time you use it.
yep, it's not the head of it isn't just going to fall off. So yeah, good stuff all around. And Kasan says, uh, please sign here. Are there any substitutions you want in there?
No, this looks like the cleanest pack I've had in a long time. I'm scribbling my signature as I ask Blue to feed the bats so that they know to home back here. I say
Yeah.
elders, community, elders, firehouse, temple.
The elders have been notified for a several block radius. Hospital cart, and he like knocks on the cart and gives the mule that's riding the cart an apple that it crunches noisily and happily, and then says that I told the firehouse about what's going on, and we told the nearest temple, and that's why they sent Palorum,
Oh, you're a
who
local,
is
Polarum.
yeah, yeah, I uh, I serve the Sun Temple around around the corner.
Well, what's your stance on ghosts, Polarum? How do you feel about them?
Uh I mean, they're just like any undead. They probably shouldn't be here. So let's
Yeah.
help them get where they need to go.
Are you good at? Are you proficient with detecting them, conversing with them as needed? I'm not
I
sure, but I got a strong suspicion that there's a ghost of an old monk roaming around these parts.
I've spoken to the dead. Yes.
Great, great. Well, bring your
Yeah.
accoutrement because that's probably what we're doing. And
Cool.
Blue, I only gotta assume that there's other mystical energies going on here, so I'm hoping you can keep me appraised of anything you see out of the ordinary.
Sounds good.
Everybody ready? I'm like checking everyone's gear. I like grab Pelorum's breastplate, the
Yeah.
cuirass, make sure it's tightened down well.
Yeah. I think like
Um,
it could be tightened a little more, and
yeah,
so yeah,
I like pull it in a
you tighten it
notch.
up. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
thanks.
yeah, yeah. It's reminding me of my diving days where everyone goes up to each other. Like
Yeah.
really, the best person to put on your diving gear is not you. It's
Right.
someone else who can get two hands behind your back, and or in my case, one hand, but still behind your back, and or in awkward spaces and check things.
Yep.
So awesome, geared up. Uh, I I give Callum not a salute, but like the a farewell, and hop into the portal.
Cool. Cool. And I think it comes out. Uh, I think it comes out like on the like outside of the map, but like on the hill. Um, where the monastery is that the monastery is the top of, and
Hmm.
like there's a little bit of like a goat track that goes up around, like kind of corkscrews around the hill, and then brings you up to that top northeast tower where you kind of come up the stairs.
Right here.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So yeah, you come up those stairs.
How similar is this hilly area to the mountainous area of the last dungeon?
Yeah. I think
How thin is the air?
the air is similarly crisp. Um, that's a great question. Make a survival roll or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe with wisdom.
wisdom sounds right. Got a 9.
Yeah,
Mixed result.
yeah. You think you're like 3 or 4 days east of where the shit show was. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that was at the foot of a mountain.
the
Good
Oathbreakers
eye.
Hall. Yeah,
Good eye. Yeah, the Oathbreakers Hall. Yep.
yeah. I think I just sort of look around at the top of the hill
Right.
and just trying to kind of get my bearings. Yeah, huh. And maybe give a knowing look to Blue and then head up. There's nothing to do for it, but it's just
Yeah.
interesting. Like, I wonder what I don't know what you know. I, secretly, without saying it, Mike is hoping that they would see some sign of Scarlet. They
Right.
know it's ridiculous, but they still like it takes. They still like take an extra pause for a beat, looking around just to see if they see
Yeah.
a sign of her, and then
Yeah.
all right. Uh, not that I revere anything that the Sorcerer Kings made because they made it, but I have heard that this is a very nice monastery, and let's try and be careful and not break things if we don't have to.
Yeah.
Not that you all intend to be violent types. I know I'm the one with the grow axe right now, but just saying.
Blue nods, having worked with you before, and I think Palorum, like, I think you catch a bit of shock on his face. Like, that's not usually what a lead delver says as they're walking in.
Yeah,
And you catch that.
yeah. I
You
just I
definitely.
just smile and nod, and Ed and I say, okay, whenever we're out in open areas, people stand wherever you want. When we're in confined areas, I'm going to take point, and Baloo is going to be in the middle, and Palorum, you're gonna follow up in the back. And if it gets dark, we got lantern. We got a good solid lantern here. Nice lantern with my favorite with the little orbs in it. So Blue,
Yeah.
you'll hold that up for both of us.
Cool. And Father Palorum is totally played by Pete Postlethwaite, who played Father Lawrence in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Um, anyway, he's just who I
Oh
pictured. He's
yes.
just who
Oh
I pictured
yeah.
immediately. Uh, so yeah, just kind of big emotive eyes, and slightly balding, and kind of tall, but not imposing. And I think even the mace he has in his hand like looks a little small in his hand. Like it looks almost like a toy. It's not made to. It's not it's not huge and heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, it still does damage, and it's still a hunk of metal, but it's not this monstrous thing. And yeah. Oh, he died? What?
Oh, I
Like 10 years ago. I didn't know that. Okay. Anyway, P passed away. Palorum is in your memory then.
yeah, yeah.
Uh I'm just yeah, bummer of an evening. Uh
So, sorry, I
so
didn't
sorry.
realize that.
I didn't realize. I didn't know him. So just like, but it's just like, oh, I like that actor. Oh, he's
Yeah,
dead. Okay, great. This is just the cheeriest stream ever.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you make your way up the goat track. Is there any particular order you want to like enter the monastery in as you kind of head up the stairs?
You mean like marching order or like where we approach
Yeah.
it from? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It'll be Micah in front, Dole in the middle, or Blue in the middle, and Palorum in the back.
Okay.
Um, and I've asked them both to like just sort of be detecting magic or spiritual energies. Keep an eye out for them. I'll try and keep an eye out on anything in the physical realm, so we're not tripping over gardening implements or anything like that. But please look out for supernatural stuff. And
Right.
yeah, and I head on in.
Cool.
Head
Yeah.
up the steps, and and it's everything is. I mean, I think it's not like Micah's super guarded whenever they go into delves, because most delves are just like, it's just going to work, right? But
Right.
I think once they like start taking the first step, they make a conscious effort when they're going up the step to like kind of adopt the stance a little bit more. That they're trying not to be seen doing this. They're like a little
Yeah, yeah.
embarrassed, but like they're definitely like kind of in that like fighting stance.
Yeah,
Still,
yeah.
no weapon or anything like that, but just kind of paying attention to the what the monk said as they go
Cool.
up the stairs.
Cool. Love it. Um yeah, you go around that corner, and there are the those little rooms, which is like where the novices slept.
Mm-hmm.
And there are like, there's straw on the floor, and maybe there's like some pallets that still are up. And yeah, it's just a bunch of little sleeping areas for novice monks learning to be, weird ass martial art monks.
Weird ass martial art monks. Yeah, yeah. I think we walk through. Doesn't seem like to be anything in here, so I'm not particularly inclined to. I don't inspect anything too carefully,
Yeah.
but I think I like keep an eye out for what kind of it's sort of like personal effect, how Spartan or lavish it is. Is this a place that's like everybody had are there stonework flowers carved in the walls
Yeah.
and really beautifully done, or is it really really basic and
Yeah. Um the the uh the novices rooms all have like these wall hangings with pictures of a lanky, uh you know a bone colored sorcerer king, in smooth armor, in and underneath, like, or surrounding the picture is some kind of vine that has flowers on it,
Mm,
and you can tell that whoever drew it was being very careful about how they drew their stance and their footwork.
mm. Yeah,
And I think, like, you're standing there, as a matter of fact, in this pose that that you were just taught, and, like, you look into one, and it's, when you are at rest, be ready for action, and when you are in action, you are at rest, and it's the pose you're in.
oh,
It's the
nice, nice.
pose. It's the pose that she taught you.
Yeah, I sort of chuckle at that, and then I point to the wall hanging and I say, "See that chest plate? Uh, we're looking for something like that. If you spot a piece of chest plate like that, specifically that's broken, that is what I suspect is the we need to investigate."
Yeah,
Um, so, and I
and
and I
make
don't make a point of the stance. I'm not like, see, I'm like, I'm doing the same stance too, but I am trying to like copy it a little, trying to copy it, trying to remember the things that Vonda said told me.
yeah. Make a wisdom roll.
Bum, bum,
Make a perception roll. I want to see if you
bum.
notice something as you kind of look through the different, looking for signs of opulence or signs of, it's pretty Spartan, but there are those very pretty pictures written on some kind of bark.
Yeah, I got a mixed result. I got a partial success.
Cool. So you see, uh, one of the monks had a pair of hangings, and um, they are they're both like this. Like, there's one, there's a pair of hangings, and then as you lift, there's another hanging under it, and then when you lift it, there's another one underneath it,
Huh.
and you can tell that uh, they were processing an act of violence they saw, and the stance of the people who were in it.
Huh.
And they were doing it, like, through these tutorial. They were doing it the only way, with the only medium they had, which is these, like, tutorial barks, pieces of bark that novices hang in their wall so they can meditate upon it.
Yeah.
But basically, like, they were making like a flip book.
Yeah. Yeah. I go. I know this isn't what we came in here for, but Polarum, how good is your hand at writing and drawing?
It's not bad, Lee Delver. What do you need?
I want you to put an entry in our monster manual. I'm sick of monster manuals only being for bugbears and owl bears and other kind of bears. Um, let's put an entry in here for the the 100 flowers monks and their, not that I'm calling them monsters, but like we should know about their training and know about them. Um, so you think you can replicate a facsimile in one of these? Is one of these drawings? I'm not
I
expecting anything perfect, but just sketch it out.
I could light my torch and get to work if you want. It's a little dark in here.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you? I'll keep looking around while you're doing this. I won't go far, but I can leave you
Cool.
here for a little while if you don't mind. I know this isn't exactly what you came for, but it's important as well. We got to record. We got to learn as much as we can about these places.
Do you want me to put this in the margins of human?
Yeah, sounds good.
I like how Micah delegates. It's like, yeah, sure, 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 sure.
Whatever you
Uh,
think's best.
yeah, do the thing I just asked you to do. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he sits down and uses his shield as like a little desk and starts writing down a description of this fight.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. Yep. All right, Blue. Let's keep moving on.
Where to next, boss?
Well, I'm guessing that there's, from the map, I sort of pull out the map and I'm guessing that the opposite is probably more dorm rooms. Let's go in the center. I bet the refectory is where they practiced. We might find that breastplate there. So I'm going to go south a bit
Yep.
and then um,
Head through that doorway.
head through that doorway. Why?
Yeah.
The whole point of me creating this little thing was to be able to show where I am, but now it's hard to select. So yeah, I'm going to move kind of down and then in here.
Cool. Yeah, you enter into the meditation garden, and it becomes open air. Uh, the stars are twinkling above you, and I think because there's very little light pollution because you're out in the country, you can really just see the stars in a way that you cannot when you're in the city.
When you're in Jakeways, yeah.
Yeah, it's just this river, across the sky, uh, and the meditation area is very beautiful. It those three stones that you see in front of you are
Mm-hmm.
places to sit, and the standing stone has it has like untrimmed grass. The standing stones have untrimmed grass on it, and let's see how um, blue does. Not great, not bad. Blue turns really pale and says, "A sorcerer king sat there," and
Set
like
set there, and
and
Mike is.
and and she points to like the middle of the standing stones.
I was told that he would come and meditate here for times.
What does someone like that? What does something like that meditate on?
Yeah. And how does a place like this help someone like that? I mean, the view is the stars are beautiful and it's very clean and quiet here, but they could just make pocket dimensions with nothing but them in it. They could create star fields on the roofs of their buildings. I wonder if nature held still there was still some element of nature that held off for them. Uh, I'm gonna go see what this is all about, and I say keep watch out from here, and I start heading in. I head into the standing stones,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go sit in the center, and maybe I'm gonna stand in the center rather than sit, and
Okay.
kind of like pivot around, looking at all the stones, like circle around, looking at all the stones, and try to like take in like what if there's any like inscriptions on them, or if there's drawings on them, or if there seems to be some sort of pattern or anything like that. Um, it's all kind of right now. It's all just sort of taking information in, but I'm generally trying to figure out like wherever Damask was killed. Like if would it be here? Would this be a fighting place?
Yeah.
Or would this just be a meditation place and there would be, some other spots? So I'm trying to like look in the ground. Do I see signs of like, what it looks like when people have been stomping all over the place versus,
Right.
of course, it was ages ago, so maybe it's all overgrown. But
Yep. Yep.
um,
It looks like it is a bit grown. There are patterns, these kind of very pleasing braided spiraled patterns on the rock facing you when you stand inside that you might have not noticed if you hadn't walked in.
yeah,
Uh, Yeah. I don't know. Like make. I think you have to make another wisdom check.
Yeah. All right. Not that it's any better for me, but I feel like maybe piecing this together might be an intelligence check rather than noticing it. I mean, they're the
Sure.
same for me
Yeah,
either
yeah, yeah.
way,
I'm down with that.
but hey, intelligence is where it's at for Micah today.
Nice.
Uh, you got a solid 10. Yeah,
Cool.
I want to spout lore about this, stealing from
Yeah.
another PBTA game.
So I'll spout some, and then if you want to build on it, go ahead.
Yeah,
Uh, and there's going to be a thing that happens no matter what you add to it. So,
cool.
but let's like build on it a little bit. My thought is that the spiral patterns are symbols for where you should put your feet and where you should put your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And even maybe there's even like a third one for like breathing in and breathing out. And so like as you turn, you see where to put your hands for the next one and the next one and the next one, and like when you should be breathing in, when you should be breathing out.
Right.
Like 2 holes for the nose, breathing in, 1 hole for the mouth, breathing out, and then like you start to like get it.
Yeah.
And you anything to build on that? I'm sorry, Sean. But
No,
we're
I
just going
love it.
off.
The thing I'd build on it is just to be extra freaking cool. That depending on the starlight, depending on the constellations, the shadows kind of reveal different moves. And
Oh, nice,
so right
nice.
now, there's like one move I could practice. But if I came in a month when the stars are in different formation, there might be a different one, right?
Oh, that's
Like
really, really
and
cool. Yeah,
and it's just so intricately done that you can kind of like it's almost like those like those like not holograms but like those things where you like turn one way and you can see one picture and turn another.
yeah,
I think the stars are just the reason why Micah can tell this is true is the stars are just like in a transitioning enough period that they can kind of like, oh, I can almost glimpse what the next one's going to be. I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
quite
yeah,
make it
yeah.
out, but I can tell that there's another image that if I just,
Yep,
I don't know, hung out here for a week or a month, maybe I would see it. I'm
yeah,
building off that whole like he would meditate for a long time. Maybe that's
yeah,
why. Maybe it's because you had to
yeah.
wait for the stars to shift to see the next move. So at any given time, there's only one, but you can. So yeah.
That's
So I
awesome.
think I think Mike is gonna try and practice it, try and step through it,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and
You're stepping through it, and you get a little dizzy, and then like the dizziness just goes away, and the quality of the air changes, and you exhale, and you're in a like when you move your feet suddenly it's like the grass is not there, and you're in a smooth place, also circular, and everywhere where there are stones are like these arcane sci-fi mummies sitting at consoles in some kind of space station, and you're standing in the middle of them in this martial arts pose.
that's freaking bizarre and awesome. Does it
And
seem like
yeah, go on.
I can interact with them? Like as soon as I leave the pose, does it disappear, or like if I approach, am I back in the sort of?
Um,
Let me stop for that. What does it seem like they're doing?
they are uh, every once in a while, one will like lean forward, and their hands are wrapped very, very finely so that they can operate this very delicate machinery. and these you know uh, these sigils that they are pointing at, and it looks like they're doing some kind of like math work. Like it reminds you of people punching a calculator, but calculators are these big Victorian things where you come from, and what they're working on is like crystalline, science fantasy. And so as you step out of what you were doing, you can feel the dizziness of your spinning come back, and you realize that like you're not stepping right, and you're gonna end up back where you came from if you don't somehow course correct. Right? You're gonna walk over to see what they're doing,
Right.
but you've stepped out of the pattern. Like
Yeah.
something's wrong.
Yeah. I think I do. I think I fumble out. I mean, I think this is gonna be one of those things where I've got to try it a couple times to like get it. I think I fumble out, and I'm like, "Blue, did you see that?" Assuming I like come back to the place I was.
You you've just been spinning.
I've just been spinning. Yeah, I didn't like disappear. You didn't see weird people standing in where these stones are.
No, are you having hallucinations?
Very possibly, but I think I'm having hallucinations that are indicative of what's going on here. All right, if I'm just spinning, just stop me if it looks like I'm going to do anything too dangerous. But I'm going to try it again, and I kind of like go
Yeah,
back, and I'm going to reproduce it. And this time, when I like try and move, I'm going to try and like it's going to take me forever, but instead of trying to like
yeah.
walk to one of them, I'm going to try and spiral around until I can
Oh,
get to one
neat.
of them, so that I'm like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
keep
yeah,
spinning and I keep doing the motion,
yeah,
but like I'm gradually moving out. So it's going to take
yeah.
forever because I'm going to just spiral out and out and out and out, but I'm going to try and get to one of them that way.
Oh, that's awesome. And this is actually a dex roll, I think. As you try to like alter this dance that you've learned and this footwork that you've learned to your own use. I
Yeah.
think it's yeah. Let's.
Uh, ha ha
Oh,
ha.
nice. Yeah, you you know uh walk in the rhythm, as Christopher Walken said.
Nice.
I'm paraphrasing, and and yeah, you walk over to this sentient pile of finely wrapped bones.
Mm-hmm.
Wrapped in this like silver cloth with runes on it, and they're the finger bones are very like finely wrapped, so that like there are these little knots so that the fingers stay together even as the sinews rot and fail, and yeah, they're working these controls that you just don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I this feels very like Avatar. I feel like this is like a scene out of Avatar: Last Airbender where like Aang was like talking to the previous avatars and like the hall of the avatars. I don't know why, but the imagery in my mind is like I feel like my partially because they don't know how the hell to do what they're doing. They're just making it up. Micah doesn't feel like they can stop, and so they keep like having to like keep like walking around because they just like
Yeah,
I just keep staying in this motion, keep staying in this breathing pattern, and all
right.
this stuff. So they're kind of just circling around the interior of the stones until they like finally like find a moment in the middle and they're like, "Are you alive?" They try to communicate with
Yeah,
the people, the creatures, whatever they are, and see if they respond to any kind of yeah communication.
and I think like the one that you're closest to when you say that turns to you and says, "We are on life. Our our task is too big for life to hold. We had to become something else.
And I feel like it's like Micah's like looking over their shoulders. They're like trying to still talk to the same one, but they're like having to walk away from it and come back
Yeah.
around. So the conversation is very slow. And they're like, "What is your
Yeah, I think
task?"
it takes a while too, right? I think like you have to go through the whole circle again, and it eats up some time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, can you tell me your task? What it is you're all doing here?
You can tell them that they don't have to test us. The orbit is stable. We've done our jobs.
Did the Ivory Duke task you with this work?
And I think nowadays, when you say a Sorcerer King's name, there's usually like a micro response of a wince or a little hand signal, like you know, uh, uh, warding evil away.
Yeah, right.
But the micro response you get from this science fantasy mummy is one of reverence. Like their head goes down a little bit, and then they like the head goes down for like a second, and like you can like see their eyes, like the light in their eyes kind of dim a little bit as they close them or something, and then the lights come on again, and they keep going about their work, and they say yes.
Mike is quiet for a little while. They're circling around. They're trying to think of how to put this all together, what it all means, and they're like, if your orbit is stable, could that mean that others nearby are being pushed out of their natural? Could that affect the others around you? And again, Micah doesn't really get what they mean about the orbit is stable. They're
Yeah.
but thinking like maybe if they're doing something to like lock something into place here, that has some sort of, everything's nice and synchronous and beautiful here, but that has some sort of weird rippling effect outside of it. Yeah. What about the space outside of the orbit? Do you know of that?
We do our jobs and we trust in our betters, which I think is an old word. Like calling the Sorcerer Kings our betters is just something that was done in the olden days before they left, right?
Yeah.
And even then, only by the worst of people. And yeah, this mummy says we trust that our betters have we trust in the calculations of our betters. That's what they say. Their math is strong. Will you report that our duties are being seen to?
Um, Micah's really wishing that they had explored more of this space before they had gotten into this, and they're like, "Fuck! I wish I knew what was going on elsewhere." Because I'm doesn't they don't feel informed enough right now, but they're like, "Well, this is the same situation. You gotta go with what you think feels right." And like there are no betters. They're gone. It was the kings left us a long time ago. You're working on a project that's been abandoned.
They nod at that and like look at one another and like stop for a second. And one of them says, it's a test. And they nod again, like, ah, yes, and they go back to work.
All right. I stopped doing the. I stopped doing the moving the patterns.
Yeah, yeah, and I think like when you come back this time, it's much more intense,
Yeah, because
and
I've been
and
away
yeah,
for a while. Yeah.
and and like you said, your knees and your back were in this position that you're just not used to, right? Because
Yeah. Right.
you were walking this pattern and doing your martial arts, yoga, Pilates, and breathing in a certain way, and I think you're covered in sweat, and Pelorum and Blue are standing outside looking at you, and Pelorum says, "Are you okay, sir? Are you? I mean, are you okay, Delve Leader?"
Um, when I go, oh, Polarum, I need a drink, and I sit down on one of the sitting stones that are outside.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. And I think the
oh,
air is like really nice and crisp, and
yeah.
it's like a early winter night.
All right, companions, walk with me through this mental exercise. And there's three stones, so I'm like, I sort of gesture like, pull out pull out your rations. I always have rations. Pull out your rations
Yeah, yeah.
and like let's have our union mandated lunch and like hash this out.
Sounds awesome.
And I basically like share with them, my supposition, my stipulation, like I walked through this stance and it took me to this other place, or rather, I saw a truth that is here that is only you can only see when you are in the stance. And there's these people, and they're undead, and they've been at this for eons, and they are uh, trying to align some orbits, the stars, a planet, something, and they're just working on it forever. They're just maintaining it, and I don't know if they're the ones causing any disturbance. It seems like whatever they're doing is very stable. It doesn't seem like anything has changed over time, so I can't imagine why it would cause problems. But maybe they're holding one thing still, so other things are shaking loose. I don't know. And yeah, anyway, so I sort of spout the ideas and I try to see if like any of that sounds familiar to any of them. It's all super weird and
Yeah,
alien to Micah.
yeah. And I think Pelorum shows you a picture of yourself that he drew while you were walking around in a circle for 30 minutes,
Yeah,
and yeah, you can see, you know, uh, I think your eyes were kind of blazing a little bit and glowing, and he says it has been said that the Sorcerer Kings had ships and fortresses in the stars. It could be that they make these things orbit like the moons. Yeah, we just learned that this world has more than one moon.
yeah. Well, um, as my union betters have told me in the past, in situations like this, uh, I'm like wipe off like what I was eating. I'm like, it's always good to know when something is not my job, and this is not my job. We are not going to destroy. We are not going to alter the orbits of the stars. I don't know Sorcerer King magics, and I'm not going to try and decipher them. I hope that that's not the source of the problems outside, but let's rest on the assumption that we're going to leave well enough alone, because this seems like we could do a lot of harm by disrupting this without knowing what we're doing. So, um, yeah, that whole area. Let's unless we have to. I don't want to interfere with anything in there.
When Blue goes into the bag, and I think like Blue has worked with you enough times now where they know that they can go into the delve bag, and it's just like kind of public property, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they go into the delve bag that's kind of sitting in between you all, and say, and they grab like 3 pieces of chalk, and they say, "Should we chalk up the doors, or do you want to go a step further and just spike the doors?"
What doors that? Oh, the doors into this refractory.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, let's let's try. There's at least, I'm looking at the map. There's at least a set of doors in every cardinal direction. Um, let's first explore what else is in here, and then absolutely let's mark them. Um, let's mark them as we go through them. And but first, let's finish your lunch.
yeah,
Union mandate.
yeah, yeah.
Palorum, how did you go from being a priest to being a delver?
Hmm. That's an interesting story, actually. Uh, I had been a chaplain in the army, and very often had to go into very difficult places, and so never thought about. I tried to leave that part of me behind and not think about it too much. So I didn't think until just recently, when I made peace with it, uh, what kind of skills I learned when I was enlisted, and so I realized that the skills I learned there and the skills I learned, getting into keeps and fortresses could be translated into other things through delving. And so here I am.
Hmm.
I was a chaplain in a siege crew.
Wow. People come from all walks. Well, I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad that you found some good use to put those skills to.
I was worried that you were trying to get me out of the way with that drawing business.
What? Oh, sorry. No, I just I kind of realized I hadn't actually been contributing to the monster manual and felt like I should. And
Hmm. Good.
I can't draw. My drawings. Blue can tell you. There's a reason why Blue's got the chalk right now. My drawings. I can make the symbols to say danger, don't enter, because they're real simple. But my drawings are awful. Um, yeah, no, you're on the team, Alarm. As long as you're on the delve, you're on the delve. Um,
Good to know.
but I may have you put another entry in that thing because weird undead space mummies are definitely something we should know about. Uh, I'll have you put more of that in once we have another opportunity. All right, let's check the other major areas. Let's go west and see what this is. So
Cool.
I think
Where are you headed?
we're gonna head to the. Assuming there's some doors there, we're gonna head into the adjoining big room.
Um, I think there actually aren't. I think those are like murder holes.
Oh yeah, okay, all
Uh,
right,
yeah, you like find yourself on the west side. You can see into those rooms. You can see that there's like a kitchen and a pantry.
cool.
Uh, but you
Okay,
can't actually.
so only this area right here, only that is the actual doors into it. Everything else
Yep.
is just windows. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So we can't. It would be easier for us to. I thought all of these were doors. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna head back up, and yeah, we're gonna leave this area. We're gonna mark it with chalk for now. We might spike it on our way out, and mark it with the like basically like a dangerous zone. Don't go in here. Don't
Yeah.
delicate. Don't disturb. Fragile. Do fragile break. And then I'm gonna head south and sort of peer in these doors as we go. I'm looking for either signs of Damask. I don't know if I'm barking up the wrong tree with that, but I'm sort of popping my head in to see. Uh, it doesn't seem like the space we were in is where combat would happen. It doesn't. It feels like that's where you meditate and practice, but it's like one person in it. It's not like a place where people
Right.
were flinging kicks. So my hunch is it's this giant space down here. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of moving along pretty quickly, just looking indoors, seeing if anything pops out at me, with the
Yep.
goal to get here.
Yeah. Like the one room is clearly where like the head of the novices, who's training the kids and making sure they get to bed on time is sleeping.
Yeah,
And then there are some closets and some storage rooms, and some like laundry tubs, and then you get to like the big room on the bottom, and yeah, it definitely is a library slash gymnasium.
nice.
And the wooden floor is like a little bit elevated, and it has a little bit of pliancy to it, so that when someone falls they don't just break every bone in their body. And the wood is a little rotten, so there's like a little bit of there's a little bit of creaking, but you can
Yeah,
see that it's fundamentally, because it was built to be pliant. It's still pretty good.
yeah,
And the roofs aren't, nothing about the roof is leaking, so it's still a pretty good room. And yeah, this is definitely where you'd want to fight.
yeah,
I mean, there are scrolls and books along the walls, but everything in the middle is wide open.
yeah.
Um, Maybe with like, you can see where once there were like ropes for climbing.
Right.
uh, and on the wall is a tapestry, of the battle against Damask, and you see that the kid who was making uh you know flashcards out of these two types of fights, out of these two groups of stances, uh was processing that fight that they saw.
Yeah,
And there was a tapestry made of it, uh in which Damask stood against a sorcerer king, and it didn't go well.
yeah,
And they were beheaded. And uh and then you see the sorcerer king leave, and like they're carrying some things, and like they're carrying the body of Damask, and the like in one arm like a baby, and the breastplate that Damask
mm,
had punched through in the other. And that's like, you can see, like, if it's like this windy path down the tapestry, and it reads like a manga.
yeah, yeah. Kind of following along, and I'm like, well, he doesn't look like either Damask or her great accomplishment. That broken chest breastplate is here. I think the Sorcerer King took them. Who knows where? A long time ago. Blarm, do you sense any spirits here? Anything that hasn't passed on? This is I kind of stand, like on not like necessarily in the center of, but like on the dojo floor, and I'm like gesturing around. I'm like, I think this is where Damask died. In fact, I'm positive this is where Damask died.
Yeah. Palorum goes into meditation for a long time. I think he's in it for like an hour. And when he comes out of it, he says he's still here. And he looks at the tapestry and he says, the Sorcerer King took Damascus' body and left his head.
Oof, that's grim. All right, Blue. Uh, I think Valorum's probably if that meditation that he just did is anything like the trance I was just in, it's probably exhausted. Help me find a head. Ugh. I hate saying those. I hate those words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
6, but I think she has a +2, so it's 7, 8.
Okay.
Uh, but again, I think it takes a long time. So I think she's meditating for a really long time, and you can. It gets to the point where it's time to go,
Yeah.
and like so, I guess what I'm asking is, are you going to cut it short and say like, hey, let's get out of here. We'll come back another day and look for the head, or do you let her finish and
And
apply
run
for
into
overtime?
overtime. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sitting with Florum. She's still meditating, and I'm like,
Yeah, he apologized. He says, "I'm sorry, I took a very long time."
no, no. Everything has taken a while in here. I mean, I just feel like we're really close. Okay, let's make some good use of this. Let's while she's doing this, why don't you? I'll describe to you the mummies that I saw. We'll get those. We'll get the space mummies in the in the entry. I know
Cool.
it's not gonna. That's not gonna appease anybody when I'm calling for overtime. But are you okay? You have to go home to your family, your
No,
kids.
I'm fine.
All right, all right. Well, I'd ask Blue, but she's
Yeah,
unavailable. So, or
yeah.
they're
I think,
unavailable. Sorry.
and she comes out of it,
They,
and
they.
they come out of it. Thank you
Uh-huh.
for correcting me. And they come out of it and point to the southeast corner of the room and say, "There's something under this."
All right. Well, that's what the crow's axe is for. And I pull it out and I walk over to the corner to see
Yeah,
what's there.
yeah. I mean, it's just like the kind of raised wooden flooring.
Yeah,
But like as you like kneel down by it, you can feel that the air is cooler here. Yeah, like
yeah.
there might be air coming in from somewhere else.
Cool. I think I pull the axe. I pull the axe out, flip it around to the crowbar part because you got to lift up wooden floorboards. This is the way to
Yep,
do it,
yep,
And I put the tines in, and I stomp on them to get a good grip, and then I pull the board loose. If it's
yeah,
rotted, I'm guessing I can get where you
yeah,
know, where it's fastened, and lift it
yep,
up.
yep. And as soon as you pry one loose, you can see the a stone hole in the ground with a tiny staircase winding down into a secret room.
Oh boy, I know secret doors. Not my favorite. All right, let's. I like pry another board loose. I pry enough boards loose that we can get through without having squeezed too much.
Yeah, who goes
And I
first?
and I say, same marching order. I'm in the front. Blue, you're in the middle. Paloma, you're on the back. Blue, keep the lantern over my shoulder. And
Yep.
I'm gonna go down. And I got the crow axe ready. Not that it's probably gonna do any good against undead, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think is a stone chamber, and inside uh, is a uh, barrel, about head size. And as you enter the room, you can feel the waves of psychic violence that this thing has gone through.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to make a save, uh, a wisdom save to, because you feel yourself getting pulled into that fight. Like you're reliving uh, Damask's last moments,
Yeah.
and like you can feel, the hopelessness of fighting someone who is so much more powerful than you, and it's dragging you into that moment. Make a save.
All right. I got a mixed result.
Okay. Uh, so um, you take 6 points of damage as the sorcerer king's sword swings at your head, but I think it's coming, and what the footwork is, so you get the fuck out of the way, but
Yeah.
not quite. But I think part of the problem is that, like, you were standing in your old
Yeah.
posture.
I wasn't in the right stance.
You were
Yeah.
not ready, and so
Yeah.
you had to, like, get ready and then go, and so it cuts into your neck, and, like, those neck wounds bleed like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I tried to lift up the Croax just like a second too late. I mean,
Yeah,
enough to keep it from beheading me, but not enough to stop it. And I just like collapse, and I just
yeah.
dropped the axe, and I put the hand over my neck. And I'm like, fuck, oh god! Everybody, hold up! Do not come any further. You don't. Nobody else should. Ugh, nobody else should do this. Okay, everybody, back up, back up, back up, back up.
Yep.
And I basically like I head up back, I back up a little bit, and I'm like, can someone bandage this so I don't bleed all over myself?
Yep. Make a con save.
Yeah. Ooh, nailed it.
Nice. So you stay conscious. I think I don't know if you've ever had a thing where you have a wound that bleeds a lot, and then you see people who were not ready for that. But the
Yeah,
look on their faces is palpable. Having,
yeah,
like, gotten, like, a little cut on my head once when I was like 13, and
yeah.
then, like, one of the ambulance guys said, "Holy shit," and I'll never forget that. So yeah, I think you, like, head into them and say, "Do you have anything that can bandage this?" And Blue, who you've seen get turned into a vampire and who bit your wrist, and Palorum, who is like a former siege engineer chaplain, who turned Delver, both, like, go, like, blanch and go pale and say, "Holy shit!" And uh, Palorum just takes charge and he says, "Sit down,"
You got it.
and
No fights.
starts to and he says, "I don't know how you're conscious. I don't know what blood's left in your body." And I think, because a lot of what you're wearing is, like, kind of rubber and hard, you don't have this sense of how much blood it is, but when you look down, it's just on everything.
Yeah.
Did you happen, I don't think you grabbed the head.
No, no, no. I didn't. I have to go back for
Yeah,
the head.
yeah,
But I'm gonna go back prepared if I can at all.
yeah.
And I'm like, all right, can you stop it? Do I need do we need to put me on the hospital cart right now to stop me from bleeding out, or can you stop it for now?
I can stop it, but if you take a hit again, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, then I definitely should not take a hit again. All right. I. Uh,
Then I definitely shouldn't take a hit again. Thank you.
yeah. Okay. Jeez, many crickets. All right. So here's the thing. Anyone who goes in there is going to relive the fight that Damask had, which is bad. It's bad news. I've all of those moves, and the reason why, and I didn't come here, I wasn't thinking. I should have been more on my toes. Literally, I literally should have been on my toes. Um, and I need to go back, and to get that head, I need to go back and walk through those same moves. Now I'm the only one who's practiced them, but if I screw them up, it's probably gonna just the memory of the sorcerer, just the memory of the sorcerer king is gonna cut my head off. Rude. So
Another
once you're
thing to
done,
consider, Palorum says, another thing to consider is that we know where it is. The head's not going anywhere. We come back tomorrow.
yeah, Blum, I think you. Micah was just about to be like, "All right, you take these rubber mitts that I have and like wrap them all around my neck. I know it's only gonna hit me one place, Like Micah had this like, how do I make
Yeah.
armor against? How do I make a good neck guard, right? And Micah's thinking about like how to do this, and then they're just like, you know what, Florum, good call. This
Yeah.
is this is not this is not it's a danger, but it's not an acute danger, and it's not going to kill anybody tonight. I hope. uh it's only people who have died around the portal have done so regularly, but not with great frequency. Yeah, let's get out of here. I'm not losing my head for the Ivory Duke.
Yeah. Let's make an exit roll
Yeah.
and call it a night.
Yeah. So best case exit, we walk out of here and we spike the door to the entrance to the
Yeah.
column. We clean up, we cover up the boards that we lifted up so that nobody else goes down there accidentally. And we leave all sorts of markings of, angry ghost, psychic damage, don't go here
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
entrance,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And I
that's,
think I think a mixed result is just going to be you get the hell out because you start to stumble and
yeah.
have and through and have like blood loss hallucinations.
Yeah. So I think it's probably a wisdom exit
Sounds
of
good.
marking things, being cautious, and sort of,
Yeah.
that's it's because it's definitely not like, at least my plan is not, run the hell out. So
Love it.
let's take it. That's a 6. That's a 6. But I want to say I think survival should apply. I feel like this falls under that. Like this is all like leaving markings and
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
all this steps. So I
Cool.
think if survival applies, that counts as a 7, but with perhaps more complication.
Yeah. I think you start to mark things and you pass out. And
Yeah.
then like you wake up and you hallucinate that you see Scarlet and like you don't remember talking to her, but Palorum will tell you later that like you were talking to someone who wasn't there, and you started to
Nice.
cry, and so we dragged you the fuck out of there. And I think like when you wake up, you're in a hospital bed, and Flint is there, and Palorum and Blue are there, and they're like finishing up the paperwork, and a healer is sewing your neck and telling you not to move. And we can start there next time.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
Very, very, very fun. I do like a lot. A lot of the best fiction that I have encountered does not involve people confronting a problem and resolving it in one go. A
Right.
lot like I'm think like this is not the kind of show we're doing, but like in True Detective,
Yeah.
there would be times where they like try and figure out what happened to the backpack of the kid, and like they would fail, and then
Yeah.
they'd flash forward to 10 years later and they'd try again and they'd fail, and they'd flash forward to 30 years later and they'd finally figure it out, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
or they would like ask somebody for what happened, and that person would tell them, to F off, and like then they'd have to go and find somebody else who was watching, the kid that saw it through the slats, and then they get that version of the kid. And I don't know, I think in role playing games often because we don't want to like replay the same scene over and over, and because we want to like have this forward momentum. I think players, myself included, are very reluctant to like back down from a challenge. But this is like I almost got murdered just now.
Yeah.
It's not an immediate threat to anybody. It's not a fire that needs to be put out. Um, Thank you, pizza guy. Yes. Yeah, we can just come back. And so I don't know. I like that. It's hard for me to do, but I like to embrace that and
Yep.
and to like realize like it's all right. It doesn't yeah. So
Yeah. And I like that there
uh,
was kind of this older, reasonable person
yeah,
being like, "Hey, you just got cut in the neck. Like, can you stop? Could you please stop?"
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, and also like last time we got out and it was smoky and dangerous and on fire, and everyone was like, "We should get out of here." And I was like, "No, I got to go back in and get the person left behind." And
Yeah.
not that was necessarily the wrong call, but I think that there's a little bit of like, there's nobody I'm leaving. I'm not leaving anybody behind right now, and I
Yeah.
might make them leave me behind if I take the wrong step. So
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Smart.
Better part of valor. Awesome. Should we do XP?
Yeah, we totally should.
All right. All right. Did you overcome a challenge with cunning? I think I did. I think I figured out what was going on with the. I think I figured out what was going on with the stones
Yeah.
by sort of solving the riddle of the kata and and figuring out what they were up to.
Yep.
So I think there's one there.
Yep.
Um,
Are you keeping track of XP?
yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Um,
I think you both added an entry to the monster manual and you made a new addition to the map with the secret room. So
nice. Yeah.
ping ping.
Great there. Did I express something about my family, my community, or my neighborhood? I think the beginning of this session was a lot about expressing
Yeah.
our community and our neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think that was very important. So I'm
Yep.
take one for that.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't. I had some connection with Palorum, but I don't think I really talked more about my family or community. So I don't think I'll just take one on there.
Okay.
Did I accomplish a session task? No.
This one's vague as fuck, but I still like it. I stand by it. I feel like
No.
if this was a game in development, somebody would be like, "You need to make this tighter. This did you accomplish your session task is going to be the source of like 1,000 forum threads where people say, "What the fuck does this mean?" But I
Yeah, I
like it.
think in my mind, the session task was stop the threat that this temple
Yeah.
is creating, and I did not do that. I
Cool.
identified it. I got
Cool.
closer to it. Did I live up to the motto of my helmet? Yes. I think Delvers delve, so Landers live.
Yes.
We absolutely were like, oh, this is having weird psychic emanations. It's causing problems.
Yeah.
We are going after it, and I actually want to take two for that. One for doing the delve, and the other one for boarding up the like I don't know no one's going into that circle of stones to
Yeah.
see these mommy people and mess with it. So I'm taking a total. So that's two more. The total of 6 XP,
Sounds good.
and I
Awesome.
think that might be level. Although I don't think I can level. Let me see. XP. Yep, that's enough. So I'm at 25.
Cool.
But in order to level, I need to do something else. I need to
Make a delve site safe for the community and make a monster manual contribution. I think you've done both.
Oh, really? Where?
We're looking at from 1 to 2, right? Not 2 to 3.
Right, right. What doc are you looking at though?
World of Dungeons in the Wake of the Sunshine. Leveling up. If you look at the leveling up area. There's 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3.
I'm just not seeing the leveling up area. Is it in the XP questions? No.
It's right above them. It's right above them.
I think you're in a Google Doc and I'm looking at a handout,
Ah, okay. Okay.
and that's why. Okay,
But you can level up, is what I'm saying,
I can level up. Cool,
because you made a Monster Manual contribution. Yep.
nice. All right, I let's do that next time. Let's level up next time because I'd love to do that on screen and see what happens. It's not complex. It won't take long,
Yeah.
but we can level up at the beginning of next game.
Cool.
Uh, Very nice. Yeah, second level Delver. Here we go.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. As usual, our games were thoughtful. I think. I don't know. I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I feel like our games are thoughtful, introspective, and we try to look at problems as humans and people with feelings would, rather than look at problems as uh, things to stab and murder. Oh, thank you, Only Features. And this is really really fun as it always is, hanging out with Judd and with all of you. I'm Sean Nittner. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner. I do have some fun stuff going on, some announcements to make. One, I released a Blaze in the Dark score called New Year's and Dustfall, which you can find on my itch page. I think it's seannittner.itch.io.
Really fun.
Probably. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was going to run it for New Year's, but uh, decided not to travel, not to fly, not to be in a place with a ton of folks. I think it was the right call. So if anyone does want to celebrate New Year's and Dustfall, there's a fun little score there. Actually, two scores. And the other exciting news is that January is Evil Hat Month at Roll20, and we have a free adventure for Monster of the Week that we released on Roll20. It's a really very very, even though it's free, it's a like densely packed mystery. And on Monday we're releasing a bunch of new Fate of Cthulhu stretch goals, and Advanced Lovers and Lesbians just came out on Roll20, and we'll be streaming some games. So check out the Evil Hat Twitter and our website to see all the cool Roll20 stuff that we have going on. Yeah. Usually I don't have that much going on, but this week I do. So
Yeah.
how about you, Jed? What's happening? In
Yeah. I mean, I think most of it you can see on my blog, Githyanki Diaspora, and you can check it out there. I've got. I've just had some fun. I've just had some fun posting. I feel like I've been hitting my blog stride lately.
Oh,
And
nice.
you can find links to all my stuff from there: Daydreaming About Dragons, my stuff in the DMs Guild, my itch.io stuff, Dictionary of Moo, my Threadless shop, where you can find things like a shirt that says Lich Queen.
So cool.
Is that what you need? Yes, it is.
It is totally what you need.
Are you gonna confuse people? Yes, in the best way. And yeah, I love it. You know, is that a what is that? Is that a band? Is that a book? Nope. I just like wearing t-shirt that says Lich Queen on it. It just I need no excuses to do that. And been a Githyanki fan my whole life, and yeah, sounds like a sports team. But anyway, it's great. I love it. And there's a lot of nerdy things on there. And check it out. I think you'll like it. And all the other stuff. There's been some fun blog posts, and me translating D&D stuff into a type of game that I want to play, and talking about my Thursday night games and actual play posts and all that stuff. So, and sometimes I just post links because there's literally so much gaming stuff out now that no one human can keep track of it, myself very much included. So, I try to curate links of people who are also curating links, and
Right.
it's yeah, just a wild west time of Substack subscriptions and weird blogs, and how do we keep track of all this ludicrous stuff? So,
They can only be curated in aggregate, right?
right,
As we
right.
as we
and we're putting up the
close.
link again to the Roll20 Evil Hat Month.
Yep.
So if you want to find that, you can. That's really cool. I had seen a glimpse of that. I think I saw a glimpse of an ad of that, but I didn't really know what it was, what I was looking at. Looks really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. We've been working with them for a couple years now, and they said, "Hey, how about we do a month where we just promote your stuff?" And we're like, "Yeah, that sounds great." So they've been
Yeah,
awesome.
the Blades in the Dark stuff on Roll20 is so good that I wanted to use it when I play tabletop Blades.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I don't like playing tabletop with my friends face to face is a luxury that I haven't had a chance to do in a very long time because of the world. But when I do it, it's a time that I like to get away from screens. But the Roll20 thing is so good that it makes me want to just have a couple screens on the table anyway.
That makes me so happy. Yeah,
It's really good. It's
there's
really
a lot of
good.
work. I have. Speaking of blades, I have something that is like not technically I'm supposed to show a show yet, but because they're going to announce it, but I won't say the words. I'll just show them on screen, and maybe somebody will see them. But I have these beautiful things in my hands right now. These beautiful metal dice that have the Kirsty font, and on the six there are. On the six there
Oh
are
my goodness, a
twin
pair of
blades.
daggers.
Yes.
Oh wow.
It's very cool. Norse Foundry will be releasing those, I think, next week.
Wow.
So yeah,
Woo.
super slick, super gorgeous.
Nice.
Um,
Thank you for joining us, everybody. I appreciate, the those of you who are here. You're really vocal and appreciative and supportive, and it's nice to have you here. So thank you.
Indeed, indeed. And we'll be back next week. We've got next week we'll have Bounty of the Week happening again on Thursday, and Judd and I and a few more folks will be playing a new game. That A new game that we're going to keep playing this, but we're going to be adding in a new game with Luke and Ray, oh my goodness, how am I?
Jay.
And Jay, yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for that next Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Take care,
Good
all.
night. Thanks. We know you can hear us.
But we're still here.